Hey guys, what's up? Chandler here again, and today we're gonna be looking at some drop rates. Alright, so what's going on here is we're gonna be looking at a spreadsheet, and this spreadsheet is going to have the drop rates of all different items for each class, because there are certain reasons why different classes have different drop rates. And you know, an instance of that is barbarians have mighty belts along with regular belts. So when you gamble from Kadala or buy items with Bloodshards from Kadala, not only are you getting regular belts, but you're also getting mighty belts. And that's, you know, with Kadala itself. And then there's other classes like Demon Hunters, where chest and cloak, and you know, the more items in your pool, the less likely you'll get a specific one that you're searching for. Alright, so let's pull up the spreadsheet and I'll explain to you guys exactly what's going on here. I'll link the spreadsheet in the description below, so make sure you check that. I'll make sure that I put the link as the first thing in the description so you guys could easily find it. And let's go ahead and pull up the spreadsheet. Alright, so here it is. And what's going on here is we have a bunch of different tabs at the top. We have Bloodshard's armor, Bloodshard's weapons, weighted drop rates, armor and weapons, and the other two, I guess, don't really matter. I haven't really looked at them, but it's just these four tabs that are important for us right now. And then over here, as you can see in the spreadsheet, it has each class, and then it has, you know, different categories. Like these are amulets, they'll say it right here. And then we're moving on to belts and mighty belts and boots, and so on and so on. And all right, so over here, this is Bloodshard armor tab. So let's read right here. With the black text, on average, you could expect to see this item once per this amount of Bloodshard spent. So the black number over here, as you can see, there's 52,400. That is how many Bloodshards on average you would have to spend to get this item, Ancestor's Grace. The red number is showing 4 out of 5 people will have this item after spending this amount of Bloodshards. Alright, so over here is after, you know, if 5 people spend 84,000 Bloodshards, odds are that 4 people are going to get the item. So this is kind of just giving you an estimate, what you could kind of expect. But there's a little trick to this. There's a little trick, because how I explained, when Barbarian gambles belts, a Barbarian has a larger belt pool of items than, say, a Crusader, who has the same main stat, right? Alright, so, for instance, let's look at an item like the Witching Hour. The Witching Hour for Barb takes an average of 18,750 Bloodshards. But on the Crusader, over here, it takes an average of 12,000... Let me highlight it. This is what I'm looking at right here. This is for the Barb. This is the Witching Hour. So, on the Barb, it takes an average of 18,750. On the Crusader, Witching Hour takes an average of 12,750. So if you really needed a Witching Hour on your Barbarian, which is not too bad for trial runs, I guess, you could, if you're not going to go for the Pride of Cassius, aside the point, completely aside the point. It's a cool trick. If you had like just a level 70 Crusader, you're trying to get that Witching Hour, you could gamble or spend your Bloodshards at Kadala with your Crusader to get the Witching Hour for your Barbarian. And it would increase your odds of getting that item. Now, as you could look a little bit lower, this is the reason why, because every 5,000 shards or so, you're getting a bunch of these different mighty belts. Pride of Cassius is 9,375 on average. And remember, what we're seeing here, the red number is kind of the maximum amount of shards we would have to spend. But again, this is all estimates. These are estimates, these are odds. So you can spend over 15,000 shards. You could be unlucky and be that 5th person who doesn't get it, you know? So that's just what it is. But it's definitely a good tool to use if you're trying to kind of get around things. But I mean, if you think about it this way, if your class has a special item in a certain area, like a Crusader shield, if you're looking for a storm shield but you're on your Crusader, I know you really wouldn't look for that, but I'm just giving an example. You might want to get that on your Barb, even though that wouldn't be a good idea sometimes, because you probably want a certain, you know, if you want a certain stat on it, like say you want phalanx damage, well then, you know, weigh your options, because this could be a good tool, but at the same time you might be screwing yourself. You're gonna have to kind of play it by ear. Just use your best judgment. But yeah, this is a great tool to have. It shows you all the items, the average amount of blood shards you'll have to spend on every class. Again, how many blood shards 4 out of 5 people will spend to get the item. Great tool to have, you know, a good way to just kind of estimate, you know, how long you're gonna have to spend farming or using Kadala to try to get your items. Now the second part of this are just drop rates. And drop rates are cool, I guess. I mean, if you want to know. Oh, I wanted to show you guys one more thing. Alright, check this out. Star of Azkarnarth. Now this is the fire immunity necklace. Check this out. On a barbarian, 131,000 blood shards to get one of these. After 210,000 blood shards on necklaces, 4 out of 5 people will have a fire immunity neck. Craziness, right? That is craziness. Craziness. Because, I mean, what's the next one down for the 4 out of 5? 84,000 for the Zephyrian amulet, and for the, you know, the cold, lightning, and poison immunity, 84,000. Pretty crazy stuff. Anyways, all right, let's look at weighted drop rates. Now, these are just the chances for an item to drop, obviously. I mean, there's really not much more to say. But, alright, so when an item drops, what are we looking at over here? Let's look at boots. When an item drops, and an item meets the roll, say a pair of boots drop, and that pair of boots meets the roll to become a legendary, it goes into another roll. And that roll is split between all these different boots that could happen. So, you know, if you roll a 1 through 16, then you get this boot. If you roll a 16 through 26, you get this boot. And what you're seeing here is exactly that. 16% of legendary boots will be Blackthorns. 16% will be Bojanglers. 16 8 demon boots. We're looking at monk, I guess, right now. Or yeah, we're looking at monk. 16 firewalkers, 4% for the ice climbers, 16 for the iron toes, and 16% for the crudest boots. And yeah, like if you're really looking for an item, you kind of want to know, hey, what's the drop rate of this thing? It feels like I'm never getting one. Just check it out over here. This will kind of tell you You know, how rare is the item that you're actually looking for, if you're curious. But, I mean, honestly, the drop rates are the drop rates, and like, it's not like by knowing them it's going to increase your chance to get these things. The Bloodshard part of the spreadsheet is a good tool to use sometimes, but you know, it's always kind of good to know, like, hey man, I really need this thing. I've been farming forever for it. How rare is this? Like, let's go look at a furnace. Let's look at a furnace and see how rare a furnace is. I believe it's around 2%. 1 out of 50 legendary maces will be a furnace. And then 1 out of 9 will be an ancient furnace. Yikes. Did I skip it? Two-handed mace. Alright. I believe this one was the barbarian. The furnace. 5%. Wow. It's higher than I thought. Higher than I thought. That is awesome. 5% drop rate for a furnace. 10% for a bone king. And then 21% for the other 4 maces. That's a pretty good deal. So, you know, not as rare as you think. That's not too bad. For a furnace, for an endgame weapon like that, you guys will get them. And I mean, this, you know, I could say this is totally legit because 2.1.2 came and they increased the drop rates for all the super rare items that were previously like impossible. Like, I had like 3,000 hours. I got like 1 furnace, and only 600 hours of that was pre-Reaper of Souls. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the drop rates have been adjusted from patch to patch a ton, and as the patches went on, these items became a little bit easier and a little bit easier to obtain. But in this patch 2.1.2, it's when they really, you know, lifted that up and made things more reasonable, but also added the longevity through ancient items. So, you know, at least they give you a start. You know, put in a decent amount of time, you'll get a good start, but you're gonna have to put the effort in to get those good endgame ancient items. Sometimes, I don't know, I popped on the new patch and within 2 hours I had an ancient furnace, and I think that's just completely stupid. I got crazy lucky. I don't even know how that happened. Not to mention the thing rolled super godly. But I don't know, I guess I just got a streamer buff. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. It just happened. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Star of Azkanarth. Alright, on the Barbarian, Star is a 0.76% drop rate. Holy shit, that is bad. Whew. Tough, man. Tough. Hard to get that fire immune. And before this, it was like a 0.16. And I managed to get like 2 of them in Season 1. I don't even know how that happened, so I don't know. Like I said, streamer buff, I guess. It must exist. It must. But no, like I said, I put like over 3k hours in, so, you know, eventually you're gonna get these things. That's just the way it goes. Anyways, yep, not much more to say. I just figured I'd show you guys this cool little tool. Great spreadsheet. Not exactly sure who made this, but whoever did, thank you so much, because this thing is awesome. Anyways, that's my video for today. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys found it helpful. And if you want, like, subscribe, share, it'd be much appreciated. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.